Adaptation. What is adaptation? Environment includes all the factors that surround plants and animals and influence many aspects of their life. Living conditions are different in different regions of the earth, from temperature to tropical climate, saltwater seas to freshwater bodies, plains to high altitude, extending up to the alpine region, from desert with little or no rainfall to wet regions with plenty of rainfall. Therefore, depending on their power of adaptability, distinct flora, that is plants, and fauna, that is animals, have developed in these regions. What are the factors of the habitat? Climatic factors: temperature, light, water, that is rainfall, wind, humidity, etc. Edaphic factors: relief features such as rivers, mountains, hills, valleys, and soil types. Biotic factors: effects of living organisms, including humans, in the ecosystem. For example, the action of soil bacteria, algae, protozoa, earthworms, and burrowing animals which alter the soil. The competition with neighboring plants and animals for food, water, and sunlight. Grazing by herbivorous animals, dispersal of seeds and fruits by birds, cultivation, deforestation, afforestation, etc. Here are some points to note. An ecosystem is a complex that consists of living creatures, that is biotic components, of non-living matter, that is abiotic components, and of radiant solar energy, that is sun. Habitat. Habitat is a special environment where an organism lives and grows. The habitat includes both living and non-living components. Adaptation. Adaptation is the ability of an organism to live successfully in a particular habitat by developing specific modifications that help them adjust in it. Aquatic habitat. Adaptation in plants. Plants that grow in water or in very wet places are called hydrophytes. They may be submerged, completely underwater, partly submerged, floating, or amphibious. Their structural adaptations, that is internal as well as external, are mainly due to high water content, deficient supply of oxygen, and weak light. Adaptations. The epidermis is without cuticle and hence it absorbs water. The root system is poorly developed and root hairs and root caps are absent. For example, water lettuce or pistia. Free floating. These plants float freely on the surface and are not attached to the soil. The stem may be reduced or may be soft, slender, and spongy. Example, water lily. This makes the stem light and also prevents it from breaking under water pressure. A large number of air cavities are present, which make the plant buoyant and helps them float. Leaves of submerged plants, that is hydrilla and vallisneria, are thin and generally ribbon-shaped, finely dissected or linear. In floating plants, that is lotus and water lily, the leaves are flat and large, with their upper surface coated with wax to make them waterproof. For example, the water lily Nelumbo, rooted and free-floating. The roots are fixed to the soil and the leaves float with the help of long petioles. Note: plant bodies show structural modifications based on the quantity of water available to them. Hydrophytes, habitat regions with abundant water available. Example, lotus. Xerophytes are found where water is scarce. Example, cactus. Mesophytes occupy intermediate position between hydrophytes and xerophytes. Example, mustard and sunflower. The vallisneria is submerged and rooted. The roots are fixed to the soil and the leaves remain submerged underwater. Ceratophyllum, submerged and floating. The roots are free and the plant remains completely submerged underwater. Aquatic habitat, that is adaptation in animals. Like plants, the animals most likely to survive and reproduce are those with adaptations best suited to the environment. This means that the animals should be able to successfully compete for food, water, and other necessities. The general adaptive features include laterally compressed, pear-shaped, streamlined bodies of whales, dolphins, fish, and frog helps reduce friction as they swim through the water. Movement in water is by means of flippers in whales, fins in fishes, and webbed feet in ducks and frogs. Gills, that is, fish and molluscus, and skin, frogs, enable breathing and respiration in water. The presence of swim bladder in a bony fish is an advantage over the cartilaginous fish. The ability to stay at a certain level is necessary for feeding, courtship, and escaping from danger. The bony skeleton also allows a better and precise movement of the fins and jaws. Swim bladder. In some types of fish, there are airtight sacs called swim bladders or gas bladders running beneath the spinal column. These generally contain gas taken from the bloodstream. In some fishes, the bladder opens into the gut and the air pressure in it may be increased or decreased by gulping or releasing air through the mouth. These bladder control the amount of gas the fish needs to stay at a certain level. Fishes that do not have swim bladders stay in constant motion to avoid sinking to the bottom. Some fishes which live in poorly oxygenated water use swim bladder for breathing air. The bony fish has a tapering spindle-shaped body which is divided into the head, trunk and tail. Neck is absent. The ear is embedded in the bones of the skull. On each side of the head is a large, rounded, slightly movable eye without eyelids. It gives the fish a wide field of vision, both to the front and to the rear.